A little while ago, I expressed my concerns regarding Crash Team Rumble just before the closed beta rolled out. Then in the past week, I actually got to play it, and I'm here to talk about it. And for what it's worth, I'm actually glad I did, because seeing the game and actually playing it are two different things. So how does Crash Team Rumble hold up? In my personal opinion, it's actually pretty good. I really like it. I always said the gameplay alone had me sold, and actually getting to play it really highlighted that. It's fast-paced, there's so much going on, there are multiple ways to go about collecting Wumpa, activating gem pads, going for relic stations, fighting each other on the field if you so well desire. It's all great stuff. Aside from Crash Team Racing, no other Crash game has made me go, yes, I want more of this. And let me tell you, if the final game is like this, it would be way up there among my favorites. Nothing that would replace Nitro Fuel for me personally, but still something I would love to come back to and play with friends if the mood calls for it. That said, the game itself is pretty easy to understand once you get a good grip on it. It plays so much like a team-based strategy game the more you get into it. Any concerns of this being strictly a MOBA were immediately put to rest, though that was hardly an issue for me to begin with. Point being, I love the gameplay and would definitely love to see more of it. And I look forward to seeing what a sizable roster for this game would look like. Right now, we've only got 5 to play around with, those being the playable characters we've seen in Crash 4. Crash, Coco, Tana, Dingo Dial, and Cortex. How does each character hold up? Well, let's go over the order I would personally put each character. As someone who always plays Coco no matter the game, they did my girl so much justice. She is mad fun to play. Her mobility on top of her triple spin mechanic, combined with this quantum wall she has going on, just feels so good to be breezing through the battlefield. She got the speed, man. Next is Tana. Before jumping into the beta, people were telling me how she has the possibility of being somewhat overpowered, and actually getting to play her, I don't know, I feel like that mindset was somewhat dispelled. Not that I'm knocking her personally, because she still feels great. I loved her playstyle in Crash 4, and Tana especially feels so good here. She has an updated triple spin, she has those insane punching moves, it's all so good. Now Cortex, oh boy, is he something special. If you can take what I consider the worst character to play in Crash 4 and tweak him in all the right places so he's actually fun to play, you know you're doing something right. He has this double dash mechanic. He can actually jump out of a dash, acting as a third jump. He can turn people into animals, which I've had a hard time figuring out. I don't know how you do it. He can drop objects on the other players. It's insane how much of an overhaul Cortex has received, and I for one welcome it. Next up, we have to talk about Dingo Dial, because this is this game's equivalent to a double-edged sword. Actually playing as him is pretty good. His moveset from Crash 4 is still intact, with the added mechanic of holding onto his spin to really send his foes flying. Playing against the Dingo Dial, on the other hand, is a completely different story. If you know how this character works, you are bound to be someone's worst enemy. The amount of times I've had to deal with Dingo Dial players running up to my side of the field, blocking me off at all times, it's all sorts of infuriating just being up front. It's gotten to where I actually dread seeing Dingo Dial on the opposing team. Like, you have no idea. You just had to be there for it. I would talk about Crash in depth, but honestly, he's the one I spent the least amount of time with. The only real addition I've noticed is that he has this flutter jump in the air, but aside from that, his moveset is pretty basic. Nothing spectacular, but nothing to really sneeze at either. Maybe that'll change once I give him more of a chance sometime in the future. The customization options are all pretty solid. You can give your characters skins, hats, backpacks, all sorts of little accessories to really make them stand out. They have their own set of emotes and challenges if you want to go for it. It really gives me a good incentive to want to play every one I see, if not just to get that one unlockable I really need. You can set up your own personal banner and even give yourself music for when you're the top performer in the game. It's even more special when you're the highlighted player doing so well amongst your peers. Which brings me to the major selling point of this beta, the online play. Well, you'll be pleased to hear that from what I played, the online portion of the game holds up really well. This was the smoothest online game I've played in a while. Of course, it isn't without its hiccups, but I feel like I can still play a game and get a decent experience out of it. Speaking of hiccups, I really wish the stutter here wasn't so bad, because folks, it really hinders my gameplay experience. I've had times where I'd stutter all over the place. I would jump on a platform and somehow glitch out of it. And on rare occasions, I even went as far as to fall off the map. I feel like that shouldn't be happening, and I hope to God they really patch this up, because if the final game is gonna be like this, then are we in a world of trouble. On a side note, the cross-platform play works tremendously. I got to play with someone who's on an Xbox while I'm on a PlayStation 5, and we still got a great amount of matches from it. All you really need to do is make sure you have an Activision account and you're golden. Lastly, we need to touch on the Battle Pass system itself. There's 40 tiers ranging from all sorts of unlockables, from skins to music to all sorts of fun accessories. If you know how to go about gaining experience, getting to level 40 should be no problem. From what I've played, gaining that experience is somewhat easier said than done. To this day, I still have no idea how it works, whether I have to be on a winning team or if I have to be the top performer in my team, but gaining experience from what I played felt like gaining pocket change. I was gaining so little that I felt like I was hardly making any progress at all. Of course, it's not impossible. In fact, I was able to reach up to level 30, tells you how far I really went with this. And that's another thing. Do I really have to play competitive matchmaking in order to see any sort of experience? Because practicing with bots or even playing private matches see you gaining no experience at all. You have to play the matchmaking. If I'm being honest, I was burnt out by the last day of the beta because of this. Like, if this is all I'm gonna be doing the entire game, I don't really see myself playing this for so long. I really hope the final release sees more game modes on top of this, as well as giving me the option to gain experience by just simply playing the game. I'm not the kind of guy that plays online games on the regular, only when I know a group of friends are down to play, so being able to have all these options to do in my downtime would really be nice, because all I want from Crash Team Rumble is a nice solid experience. The beta alone proved to me that I'm definitely gonna get just that, and it really helped give me a good idea of what I was in for. I just hope that with time, this game gets all the right tweaks in order to give us the best possible experience. Cause guys, Crash Team Rumble is good, but it can be so much more. With the right adjustments, this could be a really great game all in all. Here's hoping for the best. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Miss Dan signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.